Go to the main screen. Be on.
It's live now. And just like last week, Julian has decided to fucking walk off just as I'm about to hit record.
I had important things to do, man.
Yeah, I know. Your glass is empty. I get it, dude.
Exactly. It's like an empty tank in a car, right? It's like getting the car back from your wife. Always with a fucking empty tank. No,
Oh
I
my
know
god. But isn't that fucking true, dude? Like,
it
I
is.
remember
It is.
ex-girlfriends, man. I'd get in their car and I'm like, why is the fuel light on?
Yeah,
Like,
it
it's
just
every
stresses
fucking
me out.
time.
Well, it would stress you out. Yeah, even more,
Ah,
I
of
think,
course it does, dude.
with your range anxiety.
Yeah. Well, I have kind of range anxiety, you know.
So I know what we're going to talk about. Last week I was describing my frustrations with the Xbox One X
Yeah.
with Microsoft here in Thailand, and you all know now that you and my mom who's watching, hello mom,
For sure.
I'm going to try to keep um, things clean this week. Um, there's another thing that when I left my previous company, I had an iPad from the company. I gave it up, and then I was like,
Yeah.
actually, this is pretty handy. So I need a tablet, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I'll be smart. I'm gonna buy something that is not freaking 1,500 USD for a freaking tablet from the fruit company, and I'm gonna go with Samsung.
Okay.
Right, so I got a Tab 6. Yeah, the sound is pretty good, but the rest is shit. So I'm not gonna, I'm not
Oh
gonna.
my god. You honestly, you're probably one of the most techie people that I know. You're telling me that you're fucking with Linux and everything all the time. It's like, yeah, I built my own NAS and all that other shit. And then
Yeah.
and then when it comes to consumer electronics, you can't make a proper decision, dude.
No, so just because this is the result of the long-term, study,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna show you the results and the frustrations that I had on the fucking thing. So I broke it in half with
Oh
my
my god.
knee
So
because I was just so frustrated with it. It's just
it was
a touch
it was
screen.
new and you bought it?
It was new when I bought it, and this is 2 months later.
That's why we're friends. Because it's like we're the kind of people that will actually put our money, well, our mouth where our money is, you know.
Yeah, I just it's crap. It was just crap. The whole experience is crap. It's a Samsung, so you have to link your account with all your other accounts because you need to tie it up. So you need to create a Samsung account,
Yeah.
so you can connect your. It's like, man, I'm tired. I already have many accounts everywhere. I don't want yet one more account to tie in even more things. So
Yeah.
leave me alone. So it was asking me that question all the time. The touchscreen is crap. It doesn't register the way it should. When you're watching something, okay. Image quality, very good, and the sound
Okay.
quality, very good.
Okay. Very good.
But the rest, yeah, well, you saw the unit, the way it ended up being. So I'm back to an Apple tablet because I think those are the best. I bought the cheapest one I could find, and that's more than enough to, catch up, read articles, and that sort of thing when I'm in the car.
You know, I've still got an iPad Mini 4, and I bought it years and years and years ago. I actually bought it for my amplifier that's sitting here, which is a digital modeling amp, because it can be controlled via Bluetooth through the app, and I did it for that. But I mean, I that thing is ancient, and I'm sitting there going, I can't justify buying a new iPad because it just works so well. You know, I'll give Apple that. Like right now, like I'm recording on a Windows PC because it just does this video shit better than the Macs. But we're actually having this conversation, so my audio and camera are going through the Mac. It just works nicely, you know. So
Well,
for
yeah.
simple like, I know plug and play isn't really a thing anymore, but like for using it as an analogy, plug and play, I think the Macs just work as far as at least mobile devices, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been the advantage of Apple, I guess.
Yeah.
In that on that field, and forever actually. My father has always been using Macs. I told you that story once where the company tried to give him a PC, and he looked at the guy delivering the PC to him, like the IT department
Yeah, yeah.
delivering the PC, looked at him in the eyes, took the PC like this, turned away from the desk, dropped it, and said, "Oops, I'm gonna have, to find something else to work with then." And he got a Mac instead. But
Julian,
bottom line.
I'm gonna have to stop you there. Oh no, it's back. Sorry, we had a problem with the recording. Your camera was all fucking screwed, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all good. Keep
Yeah,
going.
it's
Keep going.
probably for the best. And so yeah, so bottom line is I showed that picture to my Xbox and it's been behaving a bit better this week
Oh really?
because
Fantastic.
that's the way it's gonna end up otherwise.
Did you
So
try the?
to be continued.
Has your Xbox got that bar with the camera?
No, no, it doesn't. It's by itself, so it's even
Okay.
more self-conscious.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
And also a bit scared about what might happen, what might be in its future, in its future. But definitely, I'm going back to PlayStation. I've always loved PlayStation. It's always just been working, and there's not all those shenanigans with that I dislike. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for those listening as well, it's only been what 3 days since, or two technically, 2.5 since our last podcast. So it was really good to actually have
Actually,
a
when we last
full.
took
We're all
it
we're
was Mother's Day in Thailand. And from what I understand, you celebrated quite well, right, with Mother's Day, right?
Mother's Day. Oh yeah, I have so many children. So many people, so many people calling me mummy.
Oh, I thought that maybe,
No, but yeah, man, it was
don't
actually
understand
nice.
what we're talking about, but
Yeah, it's okay. But it was actually really nice to
fell
have
in
a bit
love
of a.
for a few hours.
It's actually really nice to have a bit of a race recap. Because normally we're doing these podcasts before. We're doing these podcasts before the
Before the
races.
race.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we do 2 podcasts a week. One midweek. Maybe we can do 30 minutes of just how was the race, and then one pre-race. Who knows?
Yeah. The only thing is without the grape juice, because the grape juice I do on Saturdays, but usually
Yeah,
during the week.
you notice there wasn't a cigarette in my mouth in the last podcast, and there wasn't a fucking drink in my mouth.
Yeah,
Weekdays.
everybody
Man,
knows what you
weekdays.
had in your mouth a few hours later, though, off camera.
Oh yeah, of course. Anyway,
You had to take
yeah,
care of
but
the mothers.
because you are like definitely one of those people that are, you're a realist in the technology side. You're not about. I mean, I buy the hype. I really buy the hype, and you can tell that from my gay bar lighting and now this week on mic. But
It does attract ladies from the 70s, 80s. So I guess, if that's your game.
But like for you, you're very much a realist, and I'm very much a big Xbox fan. But the fact that we've now moved continents. Well, I have. I think it's going to have to be a PS5 when eventually it comes out.
Yeah, I think it's just the best. And you know what? The PS5, actually, I'm really rethinking, all of this because as we discussed, I really want to go the route of more serious, game sims.
Yeah.
Or racing sims, I should say, and I want to get the all the gear for it and everything. Unfortunately, even though I can afford it, I'm not gonna go. Well, I don't have access here locally to because I would go Fanatic. Definitely, I would go with their
they're
direct
so good.
drive.
They're so good.
Their direct drive wheel that is not so old. They brought it out a year ago.
The wheel or the hub? Because I know the hub.
The hub.
The hub is.
But when I say the wheel, it's like the set. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Maybe.
Which wheel would you buy? The round wheel or the full GT3 style wheel?
I would have all of them. Depending, because the thing is, if
Of course you would.
because Well, yeah, because you're driving different cars, you want the feel,
Yeah,
of all
yeah.
of them. So when I'm driving F1 or GT3 or just drifting an old 200 SX, that's different wheels, right? You want to play with.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
eh, I'm not too much into rally, but actually having a good wheel maybe would get me into rally gaming. But the thing is, it's just not available here. And yes, I can import it. It's going to cost me a bomb in taxes. That's the problem. It's going to probably cost me about anywhere between 35 to 50% more, on top of the regular price. And the problem is, if there's anything happening to it, I have no recourse. I have the warranties, I can't claim warranty or anything like this. So I'm just going to go with whatever I can find locally, which is
I want to be totally honest with you. Have you ever claimed warranty on anything?
yeah. I just sent my Tab 6 to Samsung for trying to claim warranty.
Really?
I said the volume button doesn't work anymore.
That's
Other than
fucking
that, it's
amazing.
fine.
That's fucking amazing that you actually
Um,
did that. No, but seriously, because I have never claimed warranty. Actually, no, I 100% lie on that. I claimed warranty once, and I mean, I'm not going to do it now. There's a guitar pedal in this cupboard behind me here that I got it. It's actually a looper pedal. So basically, like you play, it records, and it loops something so you can play over it. And I got one, and it just didn't work. So I sent it back to them, and they sent me a brand new one. It was great. It was wonderful. I actually replaced it with a very expensive one just because I this is weird. It was before because I went on a tour in Japan last March for a band I was playing in, and I really needed the looper pedal. And what ended up happening was because I live on like the 15th floor of my apartment, and this is a problem now with my current audio interface. My audio interface is the same thing, so I'm probably going to have to buy a new audio interface. It picks up radio signals and it sends them through whatever I'm
oh,
amplifying to. So I had to get rid of that. So I ended up getting a TC Electronic Ditto looper pedal to replace it
can't
because
you
there's
shield it?
yeah, but they're already shielded, and to be completely honest, like I bought that looper pedal because it was like a $50 Chinese knockoff pedal,
Okay.
and it's that's the pedal I actually wanted, and I just thought, well, fuck it, why bother? Why? Because I moved countries, so it's not like I could do anything about it, so I had to buy a new one, and you can get shielding paint, right?
Mm.
But the thing with this audio interface as well, I think I'm going to have to get a new one anyway. It's about 8 years old and it uses USB 2. So there is a bit of latency in the audio. And I apologize for anybody watching because there's probably going to be a bit of latency between the video and and the audio. But I'm going to have to upgrade anyway because it's getting on 10 years old. So that's that. But that's the only time I've claimed warranty. Any other time, I just go, that's the thing. Like we live in 2020, or even over the last 5 years. Anytime you buy something new, it's incrementally better than what you had before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
agree. I agree. I agree. I agree with all the points. I'm a little older. I've claimed warranties a bit more often.
yeah, of
And
course.
I like to have that comfort that I'm going to get support for the product that I get.
Okay.
And again, as I said, I'm paying 50% over, 35 to 50% over the price, right?
Hmm.
Um, especially on the hub. Actually, the hub is quite heavy to send over. The
Okay.
taxes here in Thailand, you pay taxes on the shipping as well. They don't
Yeah.
put the tax on just the device itself. They tax you even on the shipping. These days, with the situation we're in, there's few planes flying, and the problem is that essentially we're we're paying 3 to 4 times the price for logistics. When going overseas. So, all of this combined, I'm just going to go with a setup that is going to be modest to start with. So it's going to be,
What's
I think
what's
this is the T300 here, Thrustmaster. Um, I'm going to change the pedals. Get the top of the range pedals. I'm going to get the shifter. I'm going to get the handbrake as well because I want to do a bit of drifting. And then of course the seat and the rig and all of that. But I'm going to just go with what I can find here.
Yeah. Okay. So just so you know, that some of the COVID stuff is actually starting to lift in Indonesia. Um. So because of that, um, let me just change your screen so you can actually see what's going on here. God, layouts.
You have Fanatec in Indonesia?
It looks like I can buy Fanatec in Indonesia. So
Far out.
this is the club sport wheelbase. It's 1500 oh, 15 million. So which is about $1,000. Do you want me to buy it for you here?
If you go for anything, I want to go for the Fanatec, the direct drive 1 or 2. Actually,
Well,
I want to go with the latest one, the best one.
well, there's the direct drive 2 here.
Hmm.
It's 35 million, which is about 2800. Do you want me to grab it for you and I'll fly it over?
Well, yeah, when things open up, but in Thailand it's not opened up yet. If you come here, it's going to be 2 weeks quarantine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, because I need one as well. So what I'll do is the actual store is called Sim Racing Indonesia. It's this one here, if you can see. So how about
Yeah.
I contact Sim Racing Indonesia, and I'll say, hey, I want two with a wheel and everything. It'll probably cost me like $10,000. That's just the wheel because look, there's the pedals as well. They're about
Yeah,
$1,000
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
It's the pedals, it's the shifter, it's the handbrake, and a couple of wheels.
Well, the shifter's about 600 US as well. So I'll probably have to spend
There's a
50.
bundling package. Look at that.
Well, but that uses the Club Sport base.
Okay.
So the bundling package is nice because it's only about 2,500 US.
Mm. Well, okay. So coming back to what I was saying, that's why I might not go PS5 route. I might just go unless the PS5 supports the direct drive wheel,
Yeah.
which they've been working with Fanatec in the past, so that's very possible. But unless they do that, I might just go the PC route. Because at the end of the day, I was looking a PC that supports race sims. Um, you don't need that mad setup actually.
You don't. You don't.
A 1660 Ti, or actually a 1660 Super, that's enough as a graphics card.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing
So
as well. Like, I mean, if you're going to get like I mean, for me, I'm trying to not buy a high refresh rate screen because they're about $3,000 here, you know. So
well, yeah, that's where I differ. For me, I want my setup to go VR as
yeah,
soon as it's possible.
but so actually, what I can do as well, let me just have a look on here. You know what's really cool? I think the Oculus Rift S is what you need because the HTC Vive,
Hmm.
um, that is a great device, except that you need to mount sensors up in the ceiling.
Which is fine. I have a gaming room, so
But the Oculus Rift S uses cameras,
okay.
and you can use and for racing, I think that'll be more than fine. But then
But
again,
this is relevant. What you're saying is relevant when you're playing, like actually you're actually moving physically around the room, right?
yeah.
Or
Well, I mean, it's still gonna
racing
it's
sims are just perfect for this because you're just sitting down, right? So
it's still gonna check your it's still gonna check the it's still gonna track your movements. So
okay.
if I'm looking at the Oculus Rift S, you're probably looking a little like 900 US, probably something like that. But that comes with the controllers and everything as well. But I mean, we're only really interested in the headset. So I mean, and then there's the HTC Vive, which I think is fucking great. But the problem is you actually need. You look here, and the HTC Vive is probably about 1800 US, or maybe 1700 US.
Okay,
So
so that's the thing. It's for me, I've put some money aside for this sort of thing.
yeah,
I just don't want to overpay anything,
yeah,
right? Again, as I said, if I have to pay 35% or 50% over, the price tag, I'm just going to wait for COVID to end, and then whenever I'm flying to Singapore, I'm going to buy it there where there's virtually no tax, on those devices.
yeah.
So that's why. That's the whole reason why I'm just holding onto this. And it's the same thing with the PC. I'm not going to buy a whatever the 3090 that's coming out next from Nvidia just because it's the latest and greatest, and pay $4,000 for a graphics card. It's not going to
I
be four
wouldn't. I
thousand dollars,
wouldn't.
of
I
course,
wouldn't do it either.
but
Like,
I just want to pay. I want to pay the right price for the right thing.
yeah,
That's really what I'm about.
you know what the reality is? So many people talk about the need for such super high graphics, but the truth of the matter is, like, once you start playing, you don't notice. And you know the thing with VR as well. I think with VR they only get up to like 1440 at the moment anyway. And if you actually want to get truly smooth look, you're actually going to only be playing at 1080. So you don't need something crazy.
And
You
I
know.
think 1080 is fine. I mean, to my view, at this stage, 1080 is fine. I mean, you look at the TV behind. It's a Sony. It's going to be playing at probably, if when I play in 4K, it's at 60 hertz.
Yeah, which is
And
still
that's
is low. You
it's
know,
still it's still okay for me. It's still okay for me to play with.
because you're playing
Uh,
like RPGs and stuff most of the time, aren't you?
no, 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 no. I play just with my son. I play Zelda and Mario and
Yeah,
things like this.
RPGs. Yeah.
And then when I play with the Xbox when it works, it is I play that SnowRunner game, which I absolutely love and hate.
Yeah.
That game is lucky there's no physical media,
All
anymore.
right, all
But,
right. This is a car podcast, but the problem is, like, Julian, even before episode 1, said he wanted to talk about SnowRunner. So we're getting this out of the
yes,
way now. Talk
yes,
about SnowRunner
yes.
to me. Tell me about
Well,
SnowRunner.
SnowRunner is basically a, what should I call it? It's the successor of Mud Runner. So you basically are by yourself in kind of a ghost town or ghost region, whatever, and you have missions to do. So you have two types of vehicles, really. Um, you have more types, but essentially you have two. One are scouts, so little four-wheel drives where you can go and explore the map,
Okay.
and then trucks where you can actually take loads and deliver them around the map. And
Sure.
basically you start in Michigan. So the first region where you are is Michigan. Black River is the first sub map where you are, and yeah, you have a few things to do. So it's kind of an off-road simulator in a way.
Yeah.
So you have mud, you have water, you have you know things to deliver. You have to rebuild bridges. You have all that sort of thing sorts of missions to do, which is great. But it's very slow. I would actually say that it's as slow as Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
In the way you have to take your time with things. Cars easily tip over, and then you're stuck because your engine stops and there's no way to recover. So you just get another car from your garage to go and rescue that car. So it just takes hours to do anything. But graphically, I quite like it. And yeah, the missions are quite fun to do, yet frustrating because sometimes you're just so close to the goal and then you just tip over or you get completely stuck in mud. So yeah, it's just a fun game.
Very
Just a fun
cool.
game.
Is it
Uh,
on what's it played on?
it's on everything.
Is
It's
it
it's
on
on
Switch?
PC, on Xbox, and on. Okay, that's the one I'm not sure about. I'm not sure on Switch, but PS4, Xbox, and PC for sure.
All right. I'm going to check it out, and next week I'll give you a report.
Yeah. I mean, you're more RPG. You're more like fast action kind of games.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm not sure you're the right audience for this. Unless you just want to chill, because it's that kind of thing. You chill, you get frustrated,
Yeah.
but in the end you just chill, because if you really have that feeling where you're just here to just enjoy the game a little bit, you're just going to do it slowly, and if you do it slowly, steady and slowly, that's when you'll be successful with that game, and you'll enjoy delivering cement and bars and things like this. And I've always wanted to be a trucker when I was a kid anyway, so.
Oh, I watched. This is the funny thing. When I was younger, I watched what's that called? Convoy.
I don't
Do
know
you
what
remember
that
Convoy?
is.
Oh, okay. You got to watch it. When I was young, I but see
When I
that's the
was young,
thing.
I was watching porno for kids, you know.
I was okay. Thanks for the update, but it gives me a good insight onto who you are as a person. But Convoy was it's a movie just about a trucker trying to deliver something, and he ends up dying in the end. But the thing is, my first language, even though I lived in an English speaking country, was actually German. So everything I watched was in German. So I saw all these movies like Bud Spencer movies and Convoy and all that, and I watched them all in German because my grandfather had them all like German overdubbed. So I'd watch them, and that was my introduction to trucks. And I remember, when I was a kid, I used to have these, the pedal cars, and what I was doing because I was so motivated or
Oh yeah.
or like influenced by that movie, I was putting on, like, how you have those plastic uh, water contain drums, basically plastic drums. I'd like hook them onto the back of my pedal cars and pretend to be like I was driving a truck. It's just
Well,
fucking weird.
I was doing this with small cars, and actually that leads me. So it seems. I mean, it seems. I don't know, but who actually influenced you to become, so passionate about cars?
Well, I was always passionate about cars, particularly at a young age, right? I remember the first toy car I had. Actually, no, it wasn't the first toy car, but the first toy car that I genuinely went, I have to have that, was a yellow Porsche Boxster.
Ah,
Was my
388
first.
GTO.
Okay.
Actually, no. I think that one's one of the one that I love the most. The first one that I got was a Datsun, a 240
Okay.
or 280
Okay.
Z.
Yeah. So what got me into cars was because my auntie was she's retired now, but she was actually the secretary to the director of Mercedes Benz. And this is in the early 90s. So basically, she really, like, my father was always interested in cars as well. Like he had a Dodge Charger, he had a Monaro, he had all those cars, when he was younger. And then when I went overseas for the first time that I could remember, we went and visited my auntie, and like I said, she was the secretary to the director of Mercedes Benz, and like this, the CEO, the top person, right? And I remember, it was the first time I was, I had conscious thought, memories. I was able to do my own things. And I remember the first thing, it's like we went to the Mercedes Benz Museum. It was fucking amazing. She was driving around in the CLK at the time. And she borrowed back then a military G class because we were coming. So we
Oh
were
yeah.
we were sitting in the third row, and the third row is not like facing the windshield. They're facing into each other, into the center of the car. And we went for a drive all the way down to Austria with this thing, and it was just fucking amazing. So for me, the G class is always the military vehicle, and she had access to it back in the early 90s. So we just took it, and we went. We just, I mean, obviously I wasn't driving, I was too young, but this was in 91 or 92. But that was my introduction to cars, and after that trip, I was always interested in cars. So that was really the point where I went, yeah, cars are for me.
Yeah, for me it was well, my grandfather was a trucker.
Okay.
So he was driving all around, I would say little Europe, like mostly Germany, France, a bit Switzerland, all of that, and from what I can remember, and uh, you know, uh, it, then my father was quite into cars, but had people around him into cars. So the first Audi Quattro,
Okay.
like his friends, had this kind of cars, the Renault 5 Turbo 2.
Yeah.
And then my father actually also had an MGB, and then together with his friends bought the first 2002 Turbo, which
Oh wow.
eventually caught on fire. Well, my father was in at that time was in the Marine, right? So he was not really all the time in France. So they bought those cars, it's kind of a few friends together,
Yeah.
but essentially he was not spending any money, so he had those,
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
spend into. And then because he was also kind of I don't know how to call it, but a sales guy, right?
Mm.
He had to drive around quite a lot, so we always had Audis and that sort of thing
Mm.
around. And I remember those long trips also from the south of France to the north of France to see the family. And I remember clearly at that time, seat belts were not compulsory at the back, so we were
They're
just
still not compulsory in Asia, so
yeah, we had that
I'm
Renault.
I'm
Yeah, true,
I'm
but
not wearing a seatbelt here at all.
I shut the fuck up. I was, I was,
Uh,
I'm talking from the heart, man. Um, um, and not from my ass for once. So, I remember we were driving at night, and we had this Renault 21, um, but the wagon type.
mm,
It's called the Nevada. It was called the Nevada at that time. Well, it was called Nevada, and a white, really crap. But the great thing is that there's a big slant at the back,
mhm.
for the rear window. And so we were. I remember lying down, just being, very relaxed at the back and looking up at the sky and seeing all those stars, and just having those road trips like this. I just loved those. So that's romanticizes a little bit my relationship with cars. So yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the
uh
car.
Not
And
the
you had a
sexiest one, but at that time it was, see the slanted roof, at the
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, you could see out the, laying down, so putting the seat flats. And anyway, I was a kid, so I wasn't that tall, right? So I was still not that tall, you could argue.
Mm.
But anyway, laying down and looking out that window, I remember those road trips, and I just loved it. It was a turbo diesel also. That was my first experience with diesel, and I remember feeling, like how, torquey it was. I didn't know that what torquey meant or anything like this, but I just remember, wow, diesel engines are just something different. Like they just kick you
Uh,
in the ass.
Especially with a turbo. I mean, the problem with diesels early on is they just didn't have a turbo, and it was just horrendous.
Yeah. And the reason why they got developed so much, and especially in Europe, is just basically because, at least in France, probably 70% of the cars are diesel, because it's cheaper at the pump than gasoline. So
Yeah,
that's why those engines got developed so much as well, at least from the manufacturers like Renault and Peugeot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Very cool, man. That's a very, very cool story about And so that was your intro to cars.
Yeah,
Very
I
cool.
mean, yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
That's very cool. I mean, it's you and me have totally different introductions to cars, but I think yeah, it set the scene for where we are now. We're in a podcast talking about cars, and you know,
Well, I was very peculiar also, like my mom reminded me, because, of my son, but she reminded me that when I was, 4, 5, 6 years old, all those years, I actually, even before, even, yeah, I don't know, she said it from 3 years old, but anyway, I would not go to sleep unless I had all my cars put, in front of, well, in the box next to me, going to sleep. So I would not go to sleep unless that was done. She
wow,
remembers that. Yeah, yeah. All the cars, they need to be there,
very
aligned.
cool, very cool.
Yeah,
Ah, it's nice. Ah, it's interesting to dive into. What was the genesis of our interest in cars?
yeah. And I think it's important to remember those things. The people who actually transmitted that to us.
Mm. So I've got a question.
Yeah,
What do you think? And I'm going to pull this up on your screen now. Um,
she looks good. Oh, sorry, we're talking about cars. Sorry, she looks good.
what do you think of this? Engine mode banned, set for post Spanish Grand Prix.
Well, okay. First reaction. This sucks, because in a way, they came up with something, with innovation and all of that. And so the first reaction is like, okay, you're cutting down on this because they're just so much ahead, right?
Yeah.
But second reaction, and actually what will happen, and we saw that with what Ferrari did, is that they woke up the dragon. Like when they did this, is that they were probably borderline, well, probably even over even, and the reason why they didn't get sanctioned for their engine is because the FIA was not able to prove exactly or understand exactly what they were doing to get extra boost from that engine. But doing this actually motivated Mercedes to find another way, right, to get even more performance.
Yeah,
So the actual thing is that this actually makes them look at another area where they can perform even better, and so that's therefore it actually leads to innovation on that side.
I think you're absolutely right there. I mean, I was listening to an
Of course
analysis
I
of
am.
it as well. Okay, but I was listening to an analysis of it, and it was really interesting because Charles Leclerc and Vettel both said it's not a problem for Ferrari because there's not a difference between there's not much of a difference between our engine programs. But Mercedes has what they call party mode, which is basically
Yeah.
their qualifying mode. And I thought,
And then that they apparently allegedly only use in Q3
yeah, but it
because
doesn't
it
matter.
does impact the the,
But you know
the
what the interesting thing about all of this is? Like they have three modes, right? So they have party mode is basically just for qualifying. But each mode has got sub menus. So you just sort of go, all right, ban it, but we just shove it in a sub menu. I mean, I could be totally wrong and I haven't read up enough on the regulations, but I just go, I mean, it just sounds like a pointless.
I'm not sure. So I've heard the news. I've heard some some, well, actually Toto Wolff talking about it, saying that
Yeah.
yeah, they'll find speed somewhere else. I don't think they would be as I don't think they would be, that naive that okay, we can just stuck it in a sub menu and then that's going to be it. I think what the intention is here is that you have one mode, from Q1 to the end of the race on Sunday. That's the one mode that you use. Um,
I think basically that was
so
I
because
keep talking.
they were
Um,
talking also that there's no more going to be turning off the engine, right? Like when Mercedes is so much in front, some of the comments I've heard are like, yeah, okay, that means the end of turning off the engine at the end of the race. They can
yeah,
drive slower, they can do all of this, but essentially the programmation of your ECU is going to be the same.
yeah. I mean, my understanding, because I only really started looking at that before the podcast, because I saw it earlier on the week. That link I saved earlier in the week, but I thought, um, surely that's got to be, there's got to be, there's more to it that I don't know. I mean, everyone on
Yeah.
the internet's like, luckily we don't have that many viewers because otherwise we're going to be fucking destroyed, and that's okay. I'd
No,
rather,
I don't think we would, because the thing is nobody knows exactly, and the end in the end we are saying ourselves that we don't know also. So if unless they're the freaking authority or Toto watches. Hello Toto, big fan. um you know
herzlich
um
willkommen,
Sorry.
herzlich willkommen, welcome,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, to Toto.
Yeah,
Mm. So yeah, I think in the end, we're not really, judging or anything like this. We're just saying what we want, and we're
yeah,
just saying, again, we're catching up, right? So who cares about the comments? It's gonna be fun to read them. I can't wait for us to have comments so we can have fun on them as well. That full boost,
yeah,
torque.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, the guys like it's 7.8 seconds, and people are telling us it's more of an 8-second car. What the fuck? It's 7.8. It's 7-second car. I love those guys. They're just such a hoot to
Yeah,
listen to.
they're
It is
great.
a fucking 7-second car. Come on. And so we just judge by what we know and what we hear and what we feel and what we perceive. If people don't like it, doesn't really, as we say in French, it touches one without moving the other, referring to our balls.
Well, as men, you know, our
Oh,
balls are important.
yeah, you're Australian, it's a bit different, but yeah. You have
But
to dig
yeah,
for them.
yeah. I mean, if we're going back to this rule, I don't know that it changes much. I think some teams are going to be affected with it. I don't know that
I
Mercedes is
think
going to be affected
Mercedes
too much.
Mercedes is going to be the thing is Mercedes is going to be affected too from it, because they're the only one to actually even admit now that they do have a party mode that they use in Q3. And
Yeah,
the thing is, you look at the last at Silverstone, and there's the one freaking second ahead of the
yeah,
rest of the field. So what is that going to change? Okay, maybe 2 tenths, 3 tenths. I don't know, and probably we will see in Barcelona, because the good thing about Barcelona is that this is the track that is the most driven track by everyone on the paddock. So everybody, like Albon was commenting, probably everyone can drive that track their eyes closed. And this is what you should remember, guys. They can drive with their eyes closed. They're that good. They know the tracks that
really,
well. Yeah, yeah,
really.
yes, they do. Formula One drivers can really drive with their eyes closed almost. The thing is, they know the track really well. When they do the recognition, they look at every little bump. Okay, I should be 5 centimeter. We're not talking meters. I shouldn't be 1 meter to the left or 1 meter to the right. When I'm starting braking, for that, to get that apex, they
Yeah.
are 5 centimeter.
Okay.
When they're breaking distance as well, they are. It's unbelievable. I remember actually something that the father of Hamilton was doing to him during his karting time, is that he would actually move the 50 meters, 10 meters, distance. He would move them closer to, so that Hamilton had to, learn how to brake even better. So he would
Yeah.
move them closer to the turn, so that he would get used to it. And that it's those guys. Formula One doesn't deal in big gaps. They deal with millimeters, milliseconds, milli everything all the time. That's why for me that is the apex of motorsport, because
Yeah.
that's what they deal with. And it doesn't mean that it's better than any other racing. WEC, I love it as well, and being able to do a reliability over 24 hours, working as a team, making sure that it works. That reliability, that consistency, that all of this is unbelievable. And that's what is so great about it. But when we're talking Formula One, we're talking, let's send zero point 0.1 psi on the front tire, zero point 0.2 on the rear tires. Let's put the angle of the wing, the front wing, 0.1 millimeter down, and then see what the effect that has, on the overall rest of the car. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Min maxing. Min maxing.
It's just unbelievable. And that's what I love about it. I love to geek about those things.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't show Liberty Media, especially doesn't show that so much. I remember for me, the French TV does. I don't know how they do it, but they have access to the paddock, and they look at the wing, and then they tell you, okay, that 1 millimeter, that thing, blah 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 blah. It's I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah,
No, it's like you said, it really is min maxing, and I think these days Liberty Media is just trying to capture the mass audience because I mean, at the end of the day, they're seeing it as an entertainment program, but at the same time, we also
which it
have it.
is,
Yeah, definitely.
which it is. We're just
But
entertained by different things, but
yeah,
yes,
but we
it's
also have all these YouTube channels which go really into depth, like Race Car Engineering. It's a website. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel or anything like that, but they really go into depth with a lot of things, and they do aero analysis of a very. They look more at like WEC and stuff, but they will look at the aero of one particular part and do an entire article on it. It's pretty crazy. I recommend checking out Race Car Engineering.
Yeah, there's driver 61 is the one that I was referring to on Wednesday,
Yeah, subscribe.
um,
Yeah, yeah.
or the last time I should say. And then there's ah, what is it called? The other one. There's a really good one. Let me just try and find it. That also really, really, really goes into. There are deep explanations about the racing and then the technical aspect. Driver 61, actually, there's a video that is quite interesting on an F1 gearbox. How does it work?
Okay.
Really like that one.
I have to check it out.
Okay, man, entertain people. I'm just gonna. I won't be able to go on until I find. Chain Bear is what it's called.
Okay.
Chain Bear. Wow,
On
really
YouTube?
great channel. Yeah. It's on YouTube, and really good. Chain Bear.
Okay, I see.
Really good channel as well. So yeah, those are the channels I like to geek out on.
Let me have a look.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Chain Bear. I'll change
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
Tire wear explained. So you know also his current, right?
Yeah, very current. So if we have a look, let's have a look. Racing Point. What is it? Broke the
Yeah, well,
rule.
the brake duct. Sorry. Yeah, the rear brake duct actually that
Tie
are a
camber.
carbon copy. Yeah, he really explained all the technical aspect of things. The DAS system. He explains how that works and why that works and what is good about it. You can warm up your tires faster. At the same time, you can limit the wear on the straight lines and have better performance on the corner because you want toe angle on the corner, but you prefer
Yeah.
to have straight angles for stability and then tire wear on the straights. It's really good. If you like to geek out,
That's very
geek
good.
out.
So what's actually happening this week in Formula One? What race? We're up to Spain, yeah?
It's Barcelona. Sí, señor.
Barcelona. Fucking fantastic.
Yes. Our good friends from Spain are organizing a race. And yeah, Barcelona is an exceptional city. Just so good.
Free
And
practice is currently on now as we're talking.
P3 started a minute ago.
Yeah, a minute ago actually. Yeah, you're right. But it's interesting. If I have a look in terms of speed, it's Grosjean and Sainz up front right now.
Yeah, because it started a minute ago.
Yeah, good point. But if
So,
all right, let's have a look at FP2 results of FP2.
yeah, Mercedes are in front. Yeah,
Yeah, Hamilton, Button, Verstappen, Ricciardo. That's interesting.
not
Grosjean.
Button, Bottas.
Yeah,
You just said Button,
sorry, Bottas.
but Bottas. Yeah.
Verstappen, Ricciardo, Grosjean, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Ocon, Gasly, and Vettel is down in 12th again. The fuck,
Yeah,
man?
with his new chassis as well. So you heard, right? They changed his chassis
Did
for
that?
this
I didn't.
race. Yeah,
I didn't see that
yeah.
at all.
They found what sounds like an airline crack in his chassis.
Yeah.
So I think it's maybe a bit of superstition as well. I know that Vettel names his cars, so I think it wouldn't be too much of a step to say that he has his a bit of superstition, which I fully respect. I know that the greatest of the drivers, they or footballers, right? Zinedine Zidane used to put his left foot before his right foot.
Yeah.
When he puts his socks on, they have
Yeah.
those rituals, those things, and I wouldn't be surprised that the drivers also do.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure whether it's going to make a difference, but from the sounds of it, again, during free practice, you never know because they might be using more or less fuel. They might be working at different stages of the race. You have to look at the tires that they're using at that time. You really have to look from FP1 to FP3 to try and understand, okay, what program were they running.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's the usual stuff, but yeah, it's quite hard to try and say. You can't really pick the order of qualifying from there. The thing is, we know that Mercedes are going to be 1 and 2. That's the thing.
This is the last race that they've got party mode. After that, it's all changes. So we'll have to see what actually happens. Not in Barcelona, but in the next race. Where is the next race? Is it Belgium
It's Belgium after this, yeah.
or Imola?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's Belgium. Yeah, Belgium, Imola.
Okay, that's what I had in mind. And then Italy after
Yeah,
that, right?
Italy after that.
Belgium. Why no double headers? I wanted double headers in
I'm shocked.
Belgium.
I'm shocked by that. Why wouldn't you have two races in at Spa? I mean,
Ah, man, that track is just. It's got everything I like, and I guess this is also my liking for long tracks. I like long tracks.
yeah,
I like
that
the
is.
racing on those long
I
tracks.
remember even when I play online, or not online, but the games. It's surprisingly long circuit. That second third of the circuit, you just sort
Yeah,
of go, ah,
it's
it's
what
quite
eight
long, you know.
8 kilometers, I think it is, right?
It's a
So
really involved circuit, you know.
I mean, any tracks in F1 is basically anywhere between 4 and 5. Going over this is, rare. But yeah, 8 kilometers is just like standing out as being, like the longest track you can
Yeah,
find.
definitely. Remember back in the day, they had the bank corners.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. I saw some of those, the old track, but I think that this the new, the track now is just the flow, the way it goes, the drama you get in the first corner. Last year Verstappen actually crashed there and didn't race, so
Yeah,
or was not able to race, or was not able to continue the race. So yeah, I mean, that track is just magical.
it is. Yeah,
I hope they keep it clean on the first corner, and then let's see from there.
turn one is fucking tough. Even on games, I find
It's
it.
really tight, yeah.
I struggle with turn one.
Yeah, yeah.
And the exit. What is it? Rascas? No, um, that's Monaco.
Yeah.
What's that chicane? Um,
Eau Rouge.
Eau
Eau
Rouge.
Rouge,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
Eau Rouge.
yeah, it's not called Eau Rouge. Eau Rouge is when you go. It's that very first kink when you go over the. It's not the river, but the little yeah.
Yeah, the dip, and then you go up. Yeah,
Yeah, so then you get the compression, then you go up, yeah, and yeah, that is just, it's unbelievable when you see some videos of Raikkonen overtaking. I don't remember. I think Button, maybe he was overtaking. I don't remember, but overtaking on the outside just there.
yeah. That's
The
that's
balls
crazy.
of steel, man.
Balls of steel. But man, like Eau Rouge,
It's
like
balls of titanium.
even like I mean, this probably says a lot about me as a driver. I'm not very good, but just to put it out there. But like
Yeah, how many cars have you ruined? Even when you're not driving them, somebody ruins them. Talk
yeah,
about your Skoda again and show some
two
pictures.
cars. It's two cars, and you know
The
what the
guy is
funny?
so bad. He can, his car is getting, wrecked without him in it. That's how bad he drives.
But the exit, if you look at that sort of, it's not a chicane like the S. It's like an S
Yeah,
curve,
yeah.
basically. Exiting Eau Rouge with too much speed, it's so good that they have all that runoff because seriously, man, like if that runoff
Yes.
wasn't there, it would be death.
Well, yeah, don't say that too out loud, because remember the drama last year
Yeah, yeah, true.
with Hubert. Yeah. Um, so Antoine Hubert last year lost his life there.
Yeah,
It's just a piling up of little things, that essentially was originating from not enough practice. It seems, from what they were saying, but so yeah, the Formula 2 doesn't have enough practice time. But yeah, that's what happened. So lost two drivers, Antoine Hubert, and then yeah, the Argentinian, and I don't have his name right now in mind, who is still recovering from that accident. Almost lost his leg. So
yeah,
yeah, all this reminds you that yeah, racing is dangerous. Yeah.
it is.
Uh,
But the feeling you get from it is just incredible.
and that's why we're gonna go there, man. After Nürburgring, it's Spa,
Hmm.
because I want to feel the compression, in the Nürburgring as you come down, right? And I don't know the name of the corners, so somebody's gonna, probably say it, or I'm just gonna look it up online. But that compression, yeah, the compression is so really good, yeah.
Yeah,
When you just arrive at it, you're like, oof, and then yeah, it's just ah. We have to talk and start organizing this trip, but yeah, COVID is not helping us.
It's really not, because you can't even get like accurate. All right, we're going to take this flight, or because we're going to have to take separate flights unless I go to Bangkok first, and then yeah, okay, I understand. Unless I go to Bangkok first
It
and we
was
fly
subtle,
together.
wasn't it?
Yeah, very
Sorry,
subtle.
man. Look,
It's all right. I'm good. I'm good. I just opened my next bottle. I do have a Discord channel actually where I will probably post the secret conversation we had after. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if anyone
the
wants that.
secret after or the secret conversation we had before?
The practice record every week. We actually
Oh, so the Happy Mother's Day.
the Happy
Let's
Mother's
call it.
Day.
Let's call it
The
Happy
Happy
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day conversation we had. Um, I don't. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, but that's the thing. Like we can't even predict flights at the moment, because I mean, like, granted, I don't live in Australia; it doesn't matter anymore. But like, even in I still pay attention. And Qantas, which is an Australian airline, which is for anybody listening, uh,
It's called, for anybody listening, it's called the flying tampon between pilots. Yeah,
Qantas is a fucking terrible airline. It's
it's not that bad.
it's fucking terrible. The year
Yeah, but
leading.
the planes are well maintained and they're clean inside.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I'm not
And
gonna. I'm not.
they have an extremely good record as well of
I'm not gonna take that away
some
from them.
injuries, but no death, no crashes.
I 100% like accept that, but the problem is, like, they fucked me over on so many flights. I was on on every 2 weeks for about 3 or 4 years. I was on one of their flights, and they fucked up every single one of their flights. I remember I went to my cousin's wedding in Cancun, right? And on the way back I was in LAX, right? So I flew from Cancun to LA. I go to the counter to check in to get it was the last flight, right, to get to Australia before I moved overseas.
Yeah,
And
remember.
yeah, I get to the counter, and they're like, "How did you get this flight?" And I'm like, "With money." And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean?" And they're like, "Are you like staff or like married to a flight attendant?" I'm like, "No, I fucking paid for the flight."
But yeah, that's where
Yeah.
you should have been like French. You look at her and you say, "Yeah, what are you doing tonight?"
No, it was a guy, right? It was a guy,
Ah,
seriously. And honestly, I was just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, and then, like, it says you're on standby, and I'm like, no, I'm fucking not. I said, you're gonna get me on the fucking flight no matter what the fuck you got to do. I was so pissed off, because it was a full year of me getting to an airport, them sending my bags to like Perth. I was
okay.
if
So
I'm
they had
like,
overbooked everything, right?
it was just a disaster. Like,
Did
honestly,
they
like,
give you the flight and then you flew business class?
no, because you know what the
Somebody
fuck.
was bummed there then.
You know what the thing that fucking pissed me off as well? Like, I actually paid for a first class seat because I knew I had 2 days to pack up my entire life and move to Indonesia. Right. So I said, I need sleep. So when I land, I can sort my shit out and then leave. Right. They fucked up, even though I paid for like a business class seat or first class, whatever. I can't remember now, but it was like up the front of the plane. They fucked it up. I ended up in economy. So I didn't sleep for 26 hours flying back from the US. And, um, and when I actually,
Shame on you, Qantas.
yeah, and when I complained, and and you have to remember, every 2 weeks I was on a Qantas flight, and they fucked me over every single one. I remember once I was for this company I was working for, I had to fly a whole bunch of equipment up. And because I was like a particular status on their frequent flyers, I flew to the Gold
Next time
Coast.
you fuck up, Qantas, that's how your plane is gonna end up.
Exactly. But I don't fly Qantas anymore. But
This is not a terrorist comment, by the way. I just want to make
yeah,
sure that nobody takes it
yeah.
as,
Let's be 100% clear. This is
that's
just
the
not.
screen. The
Yeah, yeah,
screen
yeah.
in the plane. That's how
Yeah.
it's gonna end up.
But genuinely, like, there was a time I flew up in Qantas. I booked everything through Qantas. I get back to go home, flying back with all this equipment, and they charged me like $300-400 to fly the additional luggage back down. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I booked this through your website. You've thrown me on another airline because reasons. And then, like, I had to then pay another $300 to get this equipment back down. I was fucking furious, right? But I complained about this flight from LA. They didn't even fucking respond. And I
Really?
was, yeah, and I had like status, like platinum status. And I'm like, you didn't even fucking respond to my email. So after, and they had the audacity a year later, like I just stopped flying Qantas. I went, fuck it. That's it. Done. A year later, they called me saying, "Oh, you're about
Lose your
to,
status.
yeah, yeah, you just need to do this many flights." And I just called them and I said, "Fuck you." Like, I complained. I lodged a complaint to you over the way you treated me on my return flight from the US. I paid for a fucking first class ticket. You bumped me down to cattle class. But
Did they actually reimburse you for this or
no,
give
no,
you
no. They
some
didn't
mile?
reimburse me at all. They didn't respond to my email. They
That's a
didn't
fucking
reimburse me.
scandal.
Yeah, they didn't reimburse me, and I went, forget it. It's like I'm one of I don't know how many 100,000 customers they have flying with them regularly, but I was just like, forget it. You're done. And I complained to them when they called me as well. And from
This
that,
is where social media helps.
nothing happened.
You should.
Literally, they did nothing about it. Even though I complained to them in person as well. Well, not in person, but over the phone. They called me saying, "Oh, you can retain your
I
status."
think
And I just
with
thought, I don't
our
care. I don't care. Fuck you.
with our average of 2 to 3 viewers, we're gonna be able to start a revolution here.
Oh yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I
A
just went.
real bump into actually we're gonna be the next COVID for Qantas in terms of lost revenue.
Yeah,
We just need to, guys, mom, if you're watching, let's do it together. Hold hands and just give it to Qantas.
yeah. I
You're
honestly,
furious. You're so pissed off.
dude, like I can't believe, like
Remember what awaits them.
honestly, like
We're gonna break the tablets
both
in their
both
planes.
both the company I was the general manager for every single person was flying Qantas, and then me as well. And then and then even on my personal flights, they fucked everything. I was just and like I just go. So for anybody,
I want to show you. Fuck. So the guy on the
putain, c'est
right,
lourd.
left. Fuck. It's heavy.
Yeah.
The other guy said, "Yeah, should we use our hands instead?" There you
Very,
go.
very good. I like it. I like it. The French has some very good humor. No, but sorry, I'm just really pissed off
I
about
know.
it
I was
because
trying to change subjects a little bit because you were so.
uh, I just can't believe the audacity of that. After fucking up every flight, after me complaining, and then
It's
telling me
guys.
I
It's
can
becoming a.
retain
It's
I
a
can
rent.
retain my status if I buy a bunch of extra flights, and I'm like,
It's a rent channel.
and I was
We're
like,
not here to talk about cars.
yeah, I know it's like, yeah, I've got flights all over the world scheduled, and none of them are with you because you're fucking garbage. Oh, sorry, man. Like, fuck
No,
you,
that's good.
man.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Wait, I've created a new. Um,
But anyway, maybe we should bring this around to good news. Good news, right? I have good news for you. Good news for the car community as well. The car
what?
community, of which very few of them actually listen to us. But let me share something to you to the screen. Uh, this is incredible news right here.
Oh, oh, we're back to cars.
We're back to cars. But
I was just looking for a picture that I wanted to share with everyone.
okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me change the screen. What's this? What's this? What's this?
It's us, man. Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember that night.
What a party! It was just so much fun.
That was
I
a
miss those. I miss those. I miss being able to fly.
yeah.
Okay. Not
It's
only a 3 series touring, but an M3 series touring.
it's the first official one. You know what the funny thing was? When we were You know where you got what is it, your
My
three
E28.
sorry, your E28, sorry. You got your E28 done at this shop, and when I visited, they happened to have a full 3 series conversion. Like, sorry, in like a 3 series, like an E30 wagon, full M3 conversion. E30 M3 conversion. It was amazing with an E46 engine in it too.
I think okay. Continue, talking, and then we'll try to sort it out after. But you mean a touring 3 series in which they put an M3 E46 drivetrain?
Yeah, so it was a E30 touring,
Okay, in which they put the E46 drivetrain.
but made it look like an E30 M3.
Yeah, well, it was an E30 touring in the first place. So you mean with like the art, like the flared arches and everything, right?
Yeah.
So like the
So
Evo 2
yeah. So,
M3.
no, it wasn't like the Evo 2. I've actually got it on my Instagram. Let's have a look. I'm gonna try and find it, but it's
I think you have a drinking problem. We'll talk about that next.
oh my god. Sorry, I just got really excited about this car because I was just blown away by it.
But I'm, I would say that again, I won't be able to get the E21, not E31. Well, the 8 series, the old one, the E31. I won't be able to get it here because it's just impossible to find. But there are a few touring. So for me, an E39
What the fuck are
touring
you talking
or
about?
E30 touring, my next car. after the Civic, don't worry.
Okay.
But yeah, something like this. But at the same time, I don't have much time to drive my cars, so I'm also thinking, what should I do there?
Yeah, I understand.
Hire someone to drive them?
I mean, you got to run them for the batteries, but I mean, you don't have like power, so you can't run trickle charges into them or anything.
No.
Just bear with me while I try and find this.
I bear with you like for the past 10 years. So yeah, another 20 minutes once.
Here we go.
Or hard.
Here we go. I found it. I found it.
Okay, man. Show us what you're so excited about. Yeah.
So this
Okay.
is on my Instagram. So this is an E30 M3 in a wagon form. Sorry, I should change it on your screen. In a wagon form with an E46 motor.
Yeah. What a shop, right? This place.
Is incredible.
Do you still have the picture of the how they played the music in there? How they recycled an old radio, put a battery in there,
No, I don't have
like
that.
a car hi-fi that they basically put on the trunk of a tree.
Remember
And
this?
that's how they.
Remember
Oh
this?
yeah, and that actually surprisingly is not that expensive, right? It was about
15,000 USD,
Kunhang
something
was
like that.
saying yeah something like 800,000 baht. Yeah.
Yeah, this was, and that was the key.
Yeah, that was the key. Yeah.
That was the key to the car, was like a revolver barrel or revolver, whatever you
And
call them.
the engine is a 1UZ.
Yeah, 1UZ V8.
But look at it. Look at how beautiful it is.
It was done so well. I mean, going to that place was incredible. I mean, look at that. I mean, this was at Kunang's place as well.
Well, the CB Media has another video talking about their GTRs there. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
mean
it's got a
that.
new tune on the R32. I think it's now 600 horsepower or something.
Yeah, I mean that was a fucking fantastic visit. That, I was so happy that we actually went and did that.
Well, yeah, you got to do some more.
Yeah, we've got to go car hunting, even if it's just spotting.
Yeah, yeah, we should do that. We should do that.
Yeah.
I should try to get a bit more connected. We need to actually that CB Media guy. CB Media is another YouTube channel, and I think he lives in Thailand, and he goes around. He's doing basically kind of a vlog of of visiting Thailand, but he's also very much into cars. So I guess he's connected to what the events are and everything. So let's try to get in touch with him.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. But you know what? The interest. Let's go back to. Let's get back on topic. I mean, we diverted a little bit.
Yeah, because now I've got an urge for a brup 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 brup.
Yeah. But this BMW official BMW M3 estate.
I'm gonna have sex with it in all four holes. Is what I have to say about it.
Yeah.
I just hope there's going to be a okay and then the automatic or whatever double clutch are faster, blah blah blah. I just hope there's a manual
Yeah.
of this one available. I know that they're probably going to be selling 2 or 3% of manuals, but I just hope there is an option for it. I don't think there is going to be. But I'm sorry, I just love the fact that I can select the gear I'm in. And it's not a question of speed or anything like this. It's just that when I drive around in my car, is just to chill or having the experience of it. I love to change my own gears. That's all.
I don't
And
think it's
I'm not saying I'm a better driver because I can drive a manual at all or anything like this. It's not a snob thing or whatever. It's just the experience of it, the mechanical, experience of doing this. It's good. And yeah, maybe I'm because I'm old, but yeah, I don't know. Just love it.
maybe, but from this article, it actually looks like it's not actually going to have a manual. It doesn't say anything about manual gear, but I think it's really fresh news. But it says for the first time in history, the BMW M GmbH group is going to be off. Model will be complemented by BMW M3 Touring, but it's gonna. What's the motor going to be? 3-liter twin turbo straight six engine. I mean, I think if you're talking collector cars, this is going to be collector car, but not high tier collector. That's the reality of it.
I think the next collector car is gonna be the manual E92. That's the
Yeah,
next collector car.
maybe.
E92 M3. Yeah, I mean you can see the E46 has gone up. That's the next one to really
Yeah,
go up. You can still get them for accessible prices right now. But yeah, that's not going to last very long.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'd go for. But again, who cares? I'm really not looking at cars to try and make a profit or anything like this. So for me, it's just for the fun of it, and yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm excited for this car. And you know what the honest reality of it is? I don't think they're going to sell any. You
I
and
already
me.
I already sent the down payment. I don't know to who, but there's this guy in Kenya who said he's taking down payments for it, and that also I might get.
Look, honestly, man, like I think it's a beautiful car. I think it's amazing. Like for a while, it was all about the car community was like, if you want the perfect car, you get a 320 diesel estate manual. And you know what the reality was? Fucking nobody bought one. And I think it's going to be exactly the same for this thing. I think the enthusiasts are going to buy it, but I think they won't sell more than 1,000. Like I just think that's the reality of the situation. Nobody who's a performance car enthusiast, like you saw my, I can pull up my Instagram page as well. You know, like I take photos of all the shit that happens at all these enthusiast meets, right? You
Ooh,
look at it like
ooh,
this is
that's
the,
Ab. That's Ab.
people pull up with
I
shit like
this
that.
this doesn't. This I like.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That Porsche. That Porsche.
This is
I
a G.
I
This is a
love them, and I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna have a 911 at some stage.
yeah. This is
But
a G. This was a GT3 Touring. People want to turn up with that. They want to turn up with 930 Turbo.
uh,
Those are the cars. They want to turn up with shit like this. They want to turn
uh,
up with a Maranello fucking open
the
top.
no, I'm not a fan. This one.
Yeah, but I mean that's the kind of stuff that people want to turn up to car meets with. You know, they don't really want to turn up with a wagon. You know, like this
I
is the
turned up with a wagon. I got my wife to buy a wagon because she said she wanted that car, and I said okay, but only if you get a wagon version.
yeah, of course. But I mean, like this is the kind of shit people want to turn up to car meets with. And you know what the honest truth is? I honestly don't think they're going to sell that many of these fucking cars because
Let's see. Let's see. I think you're really judging from an Australian and maybe Asia point of view. In Europe, wagons are pretty common.
yeah,
So let's see how it fares. And I guess let's try and follow if we can find the numbers anyway. Let's try and follow what they what might be there, because again, in Europe people like practical cars, but they also like to have a lot of fun. And I would say the number one market for this car is probably going to be the UK.
I don't think so. The reality is, I think you're right. I think in Europe it's going to do very well. I think the problem is like, see, in Europe, this is the thing that shocked me in our countries and probably the US as well. When you look at those like 3 and 5 series GTs, you're like, what a disgusting car.
Oh
But
my god,
last time I was in Europe, I see so fucking many of them. It's ridiculous. Like,
it still looks disgusting.
and the thing that was amazing was even when I was in Australia, at the back of a truck, there was a 3 series, a 5 series, and I think it was a 3 series GT and a 5 series GT, and an X1, and it was a car transporter. The GT series of cars are bigger than the X series of cars.
Yes, the 3 GT is actually based on the 5 series.
It's crazy. And
It's
how
yeah.
how big these cars are. And you look at all these
And that's
fucking
why they love it here in Asia, because the real estate is so important here. The bigger
yeah.
car you have, the bigger,
And you look at how much they fucking like in Western countries, how much they're like, oh, we need to have a 4-wheel drive. And then you look at these fucking GT cars from BMW. Like when I say GT, I mean like the cars named GT. They're so fucking huge. They're
Yeah,
enormous.
they're
Like,
enormous. And they're so ugly
oh,
also.
they're
It's just unbelievable.
disgusting.
Yeah, this is really something that I don't like. I don't like that trend. I don't like those cars. But at
But
the end of the day, it's okay.
it is what it is. But a lot of people buy them, and I'm just like, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. But at the
Why don't
same,
you?
I don't know, because I think there's a lot of things on my list that I haven't ticked yet as far as cars are concerned,
Hmm.
and you know, I'm I think these people that buy the GT series BMWs either don't care about cars, or or they just have so many cars, but they also have families that they need to cater for.
Oh, I mean, it's different, like they're looking at cars a different way than we are.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then we we must admit that we're part of the dying breed when it comes to cars, right?
yeah. I
So
think,
yeah,
yeah, we got to be honest about that. We are.
yes, yes. So those are main consumers' cars, and that's what consumer is buying. So that's why the car companies go that way. I mean, at the end of the day, as you said, like you can see so many of them on the road. So that was the right direction for the company to be there. What I love about this is that they make money with those cars, and they still come up with probably something, as you said, that will not be a big hit, but they're still doing it, and they're doing it for the image of the company, with car enthusiasts, because a car enthusiast is gonna be the one advising maybe 10 20 people around them to buy a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's kind of indirect marketing that they're doing, convincing us, oh, BMW is doing an M3 touring. Anybody who's asking us, not really interested in cars, okay, what should I buy? Cars, you like cars. what should you buy, or what should I buy? What would you buy? I'd buy this, and they said, yeah, it's not practical for me. Well, then go for that brand, go for BMW.
Yeah, exactly. And BMW has a loyal following. I think when we look at the hype machine, BMW does a pretty bad job of developing and bringing hype cars to the market. Like, I think they suck at it. I,
Well, just look at that one,
yeah, and if we're talking
the
about
M8.
the M3, the M5, I think they don't deliver on the hype. Sorry, I've got to clarify. I think as a driver, they deliver every time. The M cars, as something that is a desirable piece of machinery that people want to own. As far as like let's call it YouTube land, I don't think people are fucking interested.
In Europe, and I didn't look for the latest ones, but the previous M5s, they were about 30 to 35% of what they were selling were the M version for the 5 Series. In the UK, it was over 50%. And you have to keep in mind, there's the 520i, there's the 525i, then you go to with the Ds, with 520Ds, when the 530s, the 540i, all of this, they were still selling more than 50% in the UK of M versions than all the other versions combined of the 5 Series. So
Yeah.
it has a relevance in some countries.
Yeah, I agree. It's like Mercedes. I mean, I think Mercedes do a great job of doing the well, it's not accessible because I mean, even in Australia, I couldn't buy an AMG.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
they're killing the AMG badge. In my view, on this, they're really killing the AMG badge. The BMW tries to do it a little bit more subtle, but when you look that again, we have a C300 hybrid, right? It's not but it's a C300 AMG. AMG for me stands normally with, you get the engine with the signature and all of that, right? Like, like you get that's the top of the cream, right? BMW does it with the sport version or whatever it's called, but with a little M badge, but it's subtle. It's not an M car, right? They don't call it an M car.
yeah,
And
no,
then
but they
yeah,
do. That's the problem. Like in the Mercedes lineup, they have the 63. They had the 43, but I think it's changed to the 53 now.
no, they have all the 40, so the C43, and then they have the E53 and the CL 53 and CLS 53,
Yeah, and
and
then the
then they have the
63.
63, which is the top of the cream, and that one
Yeah,
is like
but
actually,
but
but the
like
other ones are really an ECU tune.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if you look at even BMW does the same thing. They just don't get as much shit for it. So, like, if you
No,
look at if
because
you
they
look
don't
at the
call it AMG style. They don't say an
no,
M
but
car.
they do. Like, they 100% do. So if you look at the 1M, right? They have the M135 or the M. Sorry, they changed it to the M140. So they have the M140 as the sub premium, and then they have the 1M as the premium. They do exactly the same
Okay,
thing.
they do it for that one. Okay, granted to you, but they don't do it as profusely as Mercedes does.
Yeah,
Now
but
you can buy with
Mercedes,
Mercedes,
no.
you can buy a C200 AMG.
Yeah,
I mean,
but they
come
do
on,
it.
it's not.
But
It's like it's the common car. They call
but
basically
it's
it's the
a
trim.
trim package. It's
Yeah,
the
it's a
same
trim
thing. It's the
package.
same thing with the S class.
No,
You have the Maybach, which is just a fucking trim package.
and for me, that is diluting the name of AMG, which used to stand for the top of the cream, where you have the name, the engine sign, by the guy who was hand make, that engine handmade, and then for me, that's kind of diluting that brand. That's where I say BMW does it a bit more subtle, where they do the M trim, or the sport trim package, or it people understand it's a trim package. Now, the thing is, um, for the consumer, and I can tell you, from my wife just came home. But the thing is, I can say from this, the AMG one is the one that looks good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. It's because it's a trim package. But the thing is, they call it AMG. But
Yeah.
the M5, they don't call an M5 anything else than the M5. They will tell you it's the 5 Series with the sports package, which I'm fine with, but they're not diluting the
No,
M
you're
badge.
wrong. You're fucking wrong because even remember they did the M550. Sorry, the what is it? The 550M.
Mhm.
So they
Yes,
did the
but
X550M. They did the
you're
550M.
taking exceptions to the rule.
They're
I'm
not
talking about
exceptions to the rule.
they
They're the
are.
action. They
They
are the
are exceptions to the rule.
They are 100% the performance
If I tell
car.
my
Like,
wife an M3, she knows what it is. If I
okay,
tell if we're going to buy a car and when we buy the C class, she's like, "Oh, I can get an AMG car." And it's a diesel. It's a 2.2 liter turbo hybrid diesel
okay,
car, right? And it's an AMG for them. So they take that AMG version. It's like saying I have a Ferrari when I have a Fiero with a body kit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where there's a bit of a difference there in the way they approach it. And I believe for me that Mercedes is kind of just making AMG is just a trim package.
I don't know.
It's
I
only a
just
trim package instead of what it used to be standing for.
I think all car companies do exactly the fucking same thing. I think they have their premium
No,
line, and
no.
then they will
Then
get.
we talk. Let's talk about Audi then.
They do the same thing. They have the S line.
Yes, S line,
Yeah.
but they don't call it an S3 or S4 or S. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I understand. The S line is
It's
the trim package.
subtle. It's a
Yeah.
subtle thing. It's a trim package versus this is what applies to the whole range of
This
cars.
is you getting fucking pedantic about nomenclature.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, yes. I am
That's okay.
because
That's all right.
for
It's not a
me,
problem
we're how do you
because
call it? Galvanizing the AMG name.
you know what? I completely understand because if you were an AMG customer from day one and have been buying AMGs generation after generation, and then suddenly one day they go, "Oh, you can buy a C200 with an AMG package." You're just like,
And because
"The fuck? What the
I'm
fuck am I supposed?"
also trying to push my dad to go for an AMG GT.
Wait for the next. Well, you should go for the Black Series. They're going to release a Black Series with the AMG GT.
My dad is 69 years old.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
My dad is the same age, actually. He's going to turn
Yeah.
70 this year. Yeah.
So the thing is, he's not gonna go for a GTR Pro Black Series, with all the things that it's not comfortable and it's not, but
He's gonna buy a convertible, right?
actually, yeah, yeah, that's more than likely. But I'm trying to push him towards this. But
Get the
that's the thing. Why? How do you get those companies right to access this kind of um, customers that actually they don't care.
yeah,
The only reason why they didn't buy an Aston Martin in France is because they didn't have a convertible one at the time when they bought
yeah,
the car. Because otherwise they would have gone for Aston Martin. They could, essentially they could have gone for any brand that they want actually. But
yeah.
they're just not catering to that segment, of people who have the disposable money to buy anything they want.
Well, I
Um,
mean, your parents are definitely in that category, and that's why you see like, oh, maybe we sponsor the tennis, or maybe we sponsor the golf, or maybe they're trying to just find areas where people like that exist.
Yeah, and but it's not really about the marketing. I mean, the advertisement side of things. It's really about that segment of 50 to 65 years old, 50 to 70 years old, right? People who have disposable money.
Mm,
They don't feel like they can drive something that is too fast, like the GTR Pro Black Series is not for someone who's 50 years old or 60 years old, unless they're really passionate about cars. But somebody, who just wants a car won't buy that.
Yeah.
They'd rather go for, I don't know, E-Class, 300, whatever, comfortable,
Yeah.
Something like this. So that's their segment. But those guys have more money than buying those cars. For them, it's a consumable in a way, right? So they could buy anything.
Accessory.
Yeah. So finding, maybe I should steer them towards a Phantom or something like this, or a Bentley or Rolls Royce.
If I'm honest, man, like if you're talking Mercedes are more of a disposable fashion item. They're gonna be great no matter what. I mean, I still want an SLS. Like Shmi. I came around, I like Shmi. Right. Okay.
Hello, I'm Shmi. Oh,
Cheers.
what a guy! No, seriously, he's so great. I feel almost bad doing this because the guy is like really, really, really great.
Yeah. I believe he's genuine.
It
But
is
I mean,
genuine, right?
but I think there's some cars that are a bit more long lasting in their appeal. So definitely like a Phantom or a Ghost. I think a Ghost would be good.
Yeah, Ghost. Yeah.
Or even what's the two-door version of the Ghost would be a good option.
But the thing is,
I think
okay,
a Bentley would be good for your parents. I genuinely think that because I mean
yeah.
they could
But
hold
the
them for
thing is,
10,
the
15 years. It'd be fine.
the other thing is that in Europe, well, at least in France, if you're driving something like this, is the way people look at you.
Okay.
With kind of disgust and things like this. So, Mercedes and BMW is like the top of what you can do, and park safely.
Yeah. I
Otherwise,
understand.
somebody's going to key things, and it's just ridiculous because people are jealous in France. People are generally jealous in France. So, yeah, it's a real problem. It's a real problem.
I understand. I get it. I completely agree with you, and that's why I think you're actually you've changed my mind. I think they've got a C300 convertible or something, or C200
The
convertible.
C220, yeah, convertible. And
You know what
why
I
did
would
they?
say?
Why did they go for this? Is because they went to see Aston Martin. They
Mm.
went to see I don't know, a couple other brands, like the very high end, and then they came to that Mercedes garage, and that car was there on the show floor.
Yeah.
And they said, I want this, and I want this now. I want to come out. I don't want to get a grab home. I want to get this, and basically
Yeah.
that's what they gave them.
That's great. I like the car. I mean, I'd love to see it one day.
It's nice. It's nothing special, but it's a C-Class convertible with white and the red top, and yeah, it looks great actually, and it's really nice to drive. It's a really nice car, but essentially, my father wanted the C63 because
Yeah.
he wanted the noise, and
It's a great noise. The
and
Mercedes
then
noise is unbeatable.
my mom said, this is not reasonable and blah blah blah. But I got them to just say, like, just go for it, enjoy it. Oh yeah, but I'm gonna get to 0 to 50 in 2 seconds. Who cares? I'm like, no, it's just for the enjoyment of it. Just vroom vroom. The vroom vroom factor is very good when enjoying anything.
Yeah. I agree.
So trying to convince them with this.
I mean, if I was able to fly over, I would easily convince your parents, I think.
Okay. You fly over with a gun, or you're scaring me?
I don't know. I think particularly your mother. I don't mean this in a weird way. I think your mother.
It sounded weird, but
It does
yeah.
sound weird, but I think your mother is likes the fact that you and me are friends. Think we have a healthy relationship, and
Yeah, she thinks that. I'll show her some pictures later, but yeah.
but she thinks we have a healthy relationship, and we're good influences on each other. I believe that as well.
Mhm.
And I think do they actually want to go that high end, or are they happy with like the C300?
No, I think they really like. Well, my mom, she likes older cars, so she
Okay.
wants an old Well, actually, it's not that old, but yeah, old car like an XG8 or something like this. She'd love this.
Okay.
The problem is then reliability and all of that crap. But yeah, they both of them love old cars. So yeah, basically, my mom loves Jaguar. She loves Aston Martin.
She likes
Um,
British cars. That's interesting. Okay.
yeah, British cars. Yes, yes, for some reason. And then, you know, it's funny because I do like them. My brother loves them
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, that's what he would buy over anything else. Yeah, but something like this, I mean, it's unpractical in France.
It's fucking enormous, this thing.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's just too much petrol.
I mean, this is my dream car.
And it's, you know what? It's a wonderful car, and you wait a little more because those ones won't appreciate. They'll just keep on depreciating.
You know,
You'll get one.
I think they've stuck at about 200,000 euros for the last 10 years.
No.
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
I think that's the price they've been sticking at for the last 10
Let
years.
me check because in your left-hand drive, right? In
Right hand.
your right-hand drive in Indonesia?
Yeah, same as you.
No.
For all of those listening at home, Julian and I have drivers, so we don't pay attention to this sort of shit.
No, I know in Thailand because I've got my cars.
No, but it's the same. It's the same as Thailand, same as Australia. Right hand drive.
Really? Damn it. Okay, so if I check at La Centrale, it's not gonna help.
It might. Just have a look.
Wow.
Show
I'm
your
having a
screen.
look. Hey guys, I mean seriously, why the fuck do you bother us with right-hand drive? Can you show my screen right now? Let me show my screen right now then.
Yeah, for
Wait,
sure.
wait, 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 wait,
I'll
wait.
change it to you.
Screen capture, right?
No, just go to tab and then Google tab.
Application window. And I'm gonna go for yeah. So yeah, sorry, I'm gonna be doing this for just a second, but look, this is the map of the world, left-hand drive versus right-hand drive.
Yeah, I mean we live in the right hand drive area of the world.
I know, but why I mean, why drive? Are you guys just making a statement for
Yeah,
the right-hand drive countries?
but
Seriously?
we can
Look in South America. Look in South America.
that's one country, right?
I mean, seriously, two countries.
I've never heard of these countries. Legit, I've never heard of them.
Oh, sorry, there's a couple islands there. Sorry, there's a couple islands there. So
Was this Cuba?
Jamaica
Jamaica?
and Cuba. No, Bahamas.
Bahamas, okay.
That's Cuba and Dominican Republic. Okay, so man, seriously, something needs to be done about this. Was it Holland or Sweden who actually? No. Was it? Wait, Sweden? No. In those countries, I think it was Norway that in the 70s went overnight from right-hand drive to left-hand drive. Overnight. Overnight, they changed all the signs all over the country.
Country?
Do this. I mean, do this. Please do this at some stage. It is completely ridiculous that we have two different sides to drive on.
Yeah, I agree with you. But all right. But I mean, you've got that place. Well, I mean, your parents have got that place in France, so I mean, we can store the 355 there if we need to.
The 355 is going to be there.
And the
Damn, I look good.
and the what is it? The Abarth as well.
And the Abarth, and well, for this we'll have to wait for them to die. But hello, mom.
Oh man, but that's all right. I think genuinely, I think yeah, I think it's going to be. I think your parents would I don't know. I think you mentioned Aston Martin. I think it would be good.
It'd be perfect. It would be the perfect car.
I think we could find them a representative, and they can
But
get
at
in
the time,
contact.
no, but at the time that they looked at the garage and everything, at that time there was no convertible in the range of Aston Martin. But that's the first one. It's actually, I'm sure you saw the garage before. It's very close to Mérignac Airport.
Yeah, I know. I know
You
it. I
know,
know it because
you saw it. You saw it.
there's
Yeah.
a
So
few
they went to that.
garages there. Yeah,
They went to that very one. And yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I
Hold on
don't
a
know.
second. I got
Yeah.
a refill.
Yeah, that's okay. But I think for your parents, I think it might be worth them holding on that C-Class convertible for a while, which is a very nice car.
No,
I
it's a
actually,
diesel. It's a diesel now, so it's got no value anymore.
yeah, but it's still a nice car. I'm sure they get the
Yeah.
experience they want out of it. But I think also from that, if they were thinking Aston Martin, I'm sure we could find somebody in France that would be able to help them and help them. While they still in Thailand at the moment? Are they in Bordeaux? Julian is refilling.
Sorry, I've got a bit of a connection issue there.
That's okay.
No, so they're not in Thailand. They're back in France at the moment.
We can probably find somebody for them to give them a call and say, hey, if you want a convertible Aston Martin, they can find one. Like a
What do they
Vantage.
have actually? So have a look. Have a look. What do they have now in the range? Because I've got to tease them. I've got to send them some pictures to, some car porn.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a second. Give me a second. I think this is going to be very boring for the listeners or viewers. I think we need
Hello,
to do
mom.
an audio export of this podcast so people can actually listen to us without watching us. So here's the Aston
What do you
Martin.
mean without watching us?
Just so people can listen to us while they're at work. Okay, so there you go. There's the that's a DB9.
Is that Tesla?
That's Aston Martin.
I know, I'm kidding.
So let's have a look. So let's have a look at the Vantage because I think that would be the. It's just my guess. So much marketing bullshit. Just
A born predator. Predator. Why I don't know.
there you go. There's the Vantage Volante.
4 seats. Is there anything with 4 seats? That's what they would want to look at, but there's nothing with 4 seats, right?
No, the Vantage is the DB9 is or the DBX or whatever the fuck they're called. Let me have a look.
No, the DBX is the
The DB11 is 4 seats. So they have a Volante of the DB11. Let me have a look if I can find it.
with a V12. I mean, come on.
They're not going to
They can't-
buy a V12. Come on, they're
They can't
driving
say
a,
no.
they're driving around in a diesel at the moment. I think the only way they're going to buy a
Yeah, but they also have a fastback GT 67 Mustang, 68 Mustang, 67, 68. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah. So let's have a look here. I'll go to the configurator. DB11 Volante. There we go.
Volante.
There you go. That's 4 seats. 4 seats.
Such a beautiful car.
It is. I think
They should buy this. I agree. They should buy this.
if they're not going to buy the Vantage is a 2-seat. That's the car I would pick, particularly in the new design language. But
No,
I mean,
they want 4 seats because they want when Alex comes when my son comes, they want to go together on drives and road trips and things like this. They want to give him the virus,
yeah. Okay.
not the COVID, the car virus is what I mean.
All right. So they'd have to be a DB11 Volante. All right. So that's what you've got to be seeding to your mother and father is a DB11 Volante.
Okay.
And then what I'll do in the background is I'll see if there's actually a salesperson that's willing to actually call them.
That and drink some wine, as we can hear.
Yeah, I'm drinking some wine right now. So we'll see if we can find a salesperson to actually give them a call, and just to drive, no obligation. But how long have they had that C2 or whatever the C
I don't know,
class
a
been
couple of
going?
years, couple of years. It was back at the time when Aston Martin did not have any convertible in their range with 4 seats, I guess, or at all. But
Yeah,
again, I'm not privy to what they were selling in France versus what their range is, and
because they stopped making the DB9 for a while, so they probably couldn't have got access to a DB9 Volante.
yeah. So I mean, let's see. Let me talk to them. I would say that this is something that would actually be something they like, and then whenever I go there, I could have access to this as well, which
Okay.
is always
All right, man.
nice.
All right, man. How
And
about
an
we
F355.
yeah, we're gonna get that anyway. You and me, we'll go halves. We'll get a 355. So how about we call the podcast there and we can continue afterwards. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Thank you, everybody. Remember to like, subscribe, and don't share, because we know how we feel about people watching us that we know.
And go fuck yourselves.
Bye, fuckers.
Except you, mom.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.